All right, happy Tuesday, Power Yogis. I hope that you are having a wonderful morning. And I am also hopeful that together we can work up a nice sweat that makes the rest of the day even better. So, today we are going to explore some external rotations. There is a lot to explore. There's lots of poses that focus on external rotations. Warrior two, standing figure four, recline figure four, pigeon. We might get to all of those, or we might just run out of time and just turn into a sweaty mess. But let's see where this goes. Just as a reminder, these classes are being uploaded every week on Tuesdays at noon, and then gentle yoga is on Wednesdays at 5:30, and stairwell workouts on Thursdays at 10:30. So if you enjoy this, subscribe to Pepperdine Campus Rec YouTube channel, and you will never miss a video. With that, go ahead and move to your mat. Lie down on your back for a moment. Close your eyes. Get nice and comfortable. I hope that you are able to not only approach your practice in the time and space of separateness, right? That you make time for it and you also make space for it. But I hope that you also are able to make psychological space for this too. And so if it is possible and comfortable for you, I invite you to set your phone aside, set your devices aside, and truly give yourself not just the physical space, but also the mental and emotional space to approach only this. Because that is one of the things that makes yoga such a meaningful discipline, is that when we pay attention to one thing at a time, when we pay attention to what we are doing in the moment that we are doing it, that is mindfulness. And that is a discipline that you are cultivating in your mind at the same time as you are cultivating strength and flexibility and precision in your joints and muscles. And that is what makes this discipline a little bit different and a little bit special. You can't do it mindlessly. You have to do it mindfully. And so, be on your backs here for a moment and just find stillness. Relax your hands, relax your feet, relax your wrists, relax your ankles, your shoulders, your knees, your hips, your belly, your jaw. Close your eyes for a moment and observe the breath. Observe this time, this space, the particularity of you. One of the great things about a moving meditation like this, a moving practice, is that even though you will be approaching and practicing poses that you have probably done before, that old saying that you can't step in the same river twice is really true of a yoga practice, because even though some of these poses are probably familiar to you, if you've been practicing for any length of time, but today is different, and there is always something new to learn. There is always something new to unpack, to discover about yourself. And so I forget the saying. It's like if you're bored, you're not paying attention, right? So if you ever feel like you are just going through the motions in a practice, maybe you're not paying close enough attention. Get really curious about what is going on in a particular pose. There's always something new. There's always new layers. And that is true of a physical practice, and that is true of so many things in life. But we learn those sorts of things here on the mat. All right, I'm going to move to the mat, and we will start moving together. Go ahead and start by hugging both knees to the chest, just lightly. Breathe into the low back. Even just a simple act of hugging the knees to the chest starts to tuck the tailbone under and pulls the stretch into the low back. And now we're going to just kick this right off the bat by taking happy baby. So pull the knees wide and reach for the outsides of the feet, so the pinky toe sides of the feet. Even this is just getting started with a little bit of external rotation in the hip here. Nice deep breaths into the belly. All right, now release the left leg down onto the mat and keep hold of that right foot. And now we're going to keep this external rotation thing going. So I want you to look at your leg and draw your shin so that you can look at your shin and it's parallel with the floor. So your knee is off to the right, your foot is off to the left. And just start to kind of rock this leg back and forth. If this is ever uncomfortable or if this just feels like too much for your hip at any point, then back off the rotation a little bit. You don't have to be able to have your shin totally horizontal and situated right to left. You can just kind of start to move in that direction. Okay, set that leg down, and we're going to do the same thing with the other leg. Pick up the left foot or left leg, and same thing, start to rotate this hip in its socket. You should start to feel a nice little stretch, a nice little waking up of the outer hip, that left hip joint. All right, and release that left leg back down onto the earth. And now go back to the right leg, and now we're going to use the right leg to kind of create some spinal twists here. So I want you to pass that right leg over to the left hand, pass it over to the right hand, so close it across the body, and then also open that leg up, breathing into that right inner thigh here. Really waking up that right hip. Also starting to get into the low back. And now, other side, set the right leg down, pick up the left leg, and start to pass it across the body, to the right, to the left. As is always the case, depending on what you've been up to over the last few days, over the course of this morning, you might have some little creaks, some little groans. Your body might be talking to you. That is normal. And the more you can pay attention to that, the more you cultivate the discipline of self-awareness and making good choices based on where you're at today. That is a lifelong practice, but this is a great place to learn it. All right, hug the knees to the chest, nice and easy, and start to roll up and down the length of the spine, up to the neck, down to the tailbone, up to the neck, down to the tailbone. Take it through a couple rounds, forward, backward. And then when you're ready, maybe try crossing over the ankles, bring it up into tabletop. Right into a few rounds of cat-cow. Inhale as you lengthen the sternum forward, release the belly toward the earth. Exhale as you round the spine, tuck the chin to the chest. Cat-cow. Articulating the spine. So something that sometimes I like to do in cat-cow that I'm just going to show you today, and maybe you can mimic me, is instead of just making it an up-down movement, sometimes I really like drawing a little circle, like incorporating some forward-backward rocking sensation into cat-cow. So it's like ocean waves or something like that, that as I draw the rib cage toward the sky, I rock the upper body, the body weight into the wrists, and then as I lower the belly toward the earth, I rock some body weight back into the knees. So maybe give that a try. I know sometimes rocking forward and back while you're doing cat-cow can feel like you're patting your head and rubbing your belly at the same time, but don't get too wrapped up in even doing exactly what I'm doing. If you want to add your own little flair to it, or just do whatever comes naturally to you in this particular moment, then you're doing it right. You really can't mess it up. All right, now for that matter, just go ahead and maybe take some organic movements here with your rib cage. Draw some big circles. Maybe take some snaky movements here. And while you're doing this, make sure at some point that you lean really hard into your right hip, lean really hard into your left hip. Kind of wake up the outer hip. All right, let's take it back to child's pose, just to remind ourselves where it's at. Big toes touch, knees nice and wide, forehead is on the mat, and as you reach the arms forward, the palms relax into the earth. So in child's pose, we find stillness, we find our breath, we find perhaps even a calm of the storm. So a child's pose is always available to you. I don't even necessarily cue child's pose all the time, but it is it's a shape, a pose, a resting pose that is, think of it as your wild card, that you can play it for any reason or no reason at all. Nobody has to tell you to go to child's pose. It's always in your pocket, if you will. Okay, so from child's pose, engage the elbows, grip the fingers into the earth, curl the toes under, take an inhale, and on the exhale, straighten the legs, lift the hips, take it back to downward facing dog, and start by pedaling the feet right, left. So this is a really wiggly, moving downward facing dog. All right, now here in downward facing dog, pick the heels up off the earth, stretch out the balls of the feet. Exhale, heels back down. Inhale, heels off the earth, and now bend the knees till they come to just an inch off the mat. Exhale, straighten the knees, heels back to the earth. Let's do that again. Inhale, forward to a floating tabletop, I guess you would call this, or a floating downward facing dog, and maybe even rock the body weight forward into the wrists and shoulders. Exhale, downward facing dog. I like that. Let's do that for a few more little flows to build some heat. Inhale, forward to a floating tabletop so the knees don't touch the earth. We're really active. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's do two more. Inhale, floating tabletop. Shoulders are over wrists. Active in the core. Exhale, downward facing dog. One more time. Inhale, floating tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right, look up at the hands, and let's take a lot of steps to walk our feet forward to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Bring your hands to your shins. Halfway lift, so lengthen the crown of the head forward. And depending on where you're at with your hamstrings, you could either have your legs straight, if you're feeling like a nice hamstring stretch, or you could have a soft bend in the knees always. And that's a little bit more active in the hamstrings. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale to stand, sweep the arms. Exhale, pull that breath to heart center. All right, we're going to take it through 2 half sun salutations here at the top of the mat just to get our blood and our breath and heart rate moving. And then we're going to transition into full sun salutations. We're going to get right into it after that with some lunges. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to stand, sweep the arms. Exhale, pull that breath to heart center. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, find length through the neck, soften the shoulders down. Exhale, fold. Inhale to stand, sweep the arms. Exhale, pull that breath to heart center. Let's take it through a full sun salutation. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the crown of the head forward. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step it back to plank and take it through a flow. Lowering top to bottom. I'm taking cobra for this first back bend. Inhale, cobra, gazes forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. 2 long, slow breaths in downward facing dog. And at the end of that, exhale, glance up at the hands, walk or step your feet forward, top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stand all the way up, sweep the arms. Exhale, pull that breath to heart center. We're going to take it through 2 more full sun salutations. It is up to you what kind of vinyasa you take. If you want to take chaturanga upward facing dog, or if you want to continue to lower all the way to the earth and take low cobra, it's totally up to you. Take the movements and the depth and the sequence that is what you need today, right? Every day is different. I've said that already a couple times today. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. Take it through a flow. Two breaths in downward facing dog. Walk, step, or float your feet top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to stand. Exhale, hands to heart center. Another full sun salutation from the top. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 2 breaths. At the end of that exhale, walk, step, or float your feet top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale. Exhale. Dancing warrior flow. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale. Hands to the earth. Take it through a flow. You always have the option to, anytime I say flow, you always have the option to skip it or to add extra push-ups or anything you want to add. Your choice. Inhale, lift the right leg, lead with the heel. Exhale, step it through next to the right thumb. Inhale for Crescent Lunge. Back heel is lifted, soft bend in the back knee. Exhale, Warrior 2. We're going to pause here for just a moment. A few breaths in Warrior 2. Our first Warrior 2 of the day, so maybe get nice and comfortable. You might do a little soft rock back and forth with that knee as you kind of sink into that right inner thigh. Glance down at your front foot. The heel is in line with the arch of the back foot. The front knee, of course, is bent. The back knee is straight. Arms are in line with shoulders. All right, now flip the right palm up. Inhale, reach forward over the front leg. Exhale, reverse warrior, gaze goes up. Inhale, back to Warrior 2. Exhale, circle the hands to the earth, step it back to plank, take it through the flow. 2 breaths. Left side, inhale with the left leg. Exhale, step it through next to the left thumb. Crescent Lunge on the inhale, find your balance. Warrior 2 on the exhale. Pause here for a few breaths. Getting nice and comfortable here in Warrior 2. Maybe do a little bit of rocking back and forth by slightly bending and unbending that left knee. Have this be kind of a moving Warrior 2. Find your front heel in line with the arch of the back foot. Back leg, of course, is straight. Gaze is over the left fingertips. Flip the left palm up. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reverse warrior. Gaze goes up. Inhale, back to warrior two. Exhale, circle the hands. Take it through a flow. Two long, slow breaths in downward facing dog. Walk, step, or float your feet, top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to stand. Exhale, hands to heart center. All right, we're going to start to play with a standing figure four here at the top of the mat and incorporate it into a sequence. And so shift all of your body weight to your left foot. Inhale, arms overhead, bring the right knee up in line with the hip. Exhale, standing figure four, hook that right ankle over the left knee. Inhale, come on out of it. We're gonna go back into it. Exhale into that standing figure four. One more time, inhale, come on out of it, knee up in line with hip. Exhale, third time, standing figure four. Inhale, back to standing. Exhale, everything down. Nice. Other side. Shift all of your body weight to your right foot. Inhale, left knee up in line with hip. Find your balance. Exhale, standing figure four. I'm bringing my hands to heart center. If you would prefer, go ahead and inhale back out of it. Exhale, standing figure four. If you would rather keep your arms up and overhead in more of a classic chair pose, it's up to you. Inhale, back up to standing. Last time, exhale, standing figure four. Body weight is in the heels. Inhale, knee up in line with hip. Exhale, everything down. Nice job. Back to the right side. Yes. So shift all of your body weight to your left leg. Inhale, right knee up in line with hip. Exhale, standing figure four. Inhale, knee up in line with hip. And as you transition into crescent lunge, maintain your balance. One more inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, warrior two. Flip the left palm up, inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reverse warrior, gaze goes up. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, circle the hands, step it back to plank, take it through a flow. Two breaths. Walk, step, or float your feet to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to stand, reach. Exhale, everything to heart center. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So shift your body weight to your right foot. Inhale, left knee up in line with hip. Exhale, standing figure four. Inhale, knee up in line with hip. And feel your way into a crescent lunge. Move at the pace of your balance here. So even though you're landing your back foot back behind you where you can't see, feel your way into that balance. You're not just hopping back there, you're balancing your way back there. Crescent lunge, inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Flip the right palm up, inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, circle the hands, step it back to plank, take it through a flow. All right, just take a quick pit stop in child's pose. Lower the knees to the earth, big toes come to touch. Settle the hips back toward the heels. And then just for a moment here in child's pose, with your arms reaching forward, walk your hands over to the right edge of the mat and just relax into a nice long side stretch down the whole left side of the body. Two breaths. All right, now let's go ahead and walk it over to the left edge of the mat. Nice long side stretch down the whole right side of the body.
All right, now bring your hands back to center, child's pose. Curl the toes under, take an inhale. And on the exhale, straighten the legs, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Right back into another standing sequence. So inhale, lift the right leg. This time, bend the knee and stack the right hip on top of the left. So find a twist in your lower body, but try not to open it up too much in your chest, your shoulders, right? So try to keep your hands evenly spaced, even pressure from right to left hand. And on the exhale, step it through next to the right thumb. Nice. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Flip the right palm up, inhale. Reverse warrior, exhale. Inhale back to warrior two. And this time on the exhale, side angle. Right hand finds the floor on the inside of the right big toe. Left fingertips toward the sky. Just hang out here for a few breaths. Your left fingertips could keep reaching toward the sky, or if you want to try finding the half wrap around the backside waist and catch the right inner thigh, that's great too. And if this is super comfortable for you and you want to try finding the full wrap around the back of the right hip, we'll be here for just a couple more breaths. Breathe into that right hip. Open the chest toward the left side. Keep spiraling the left shoulder toward the sky. Inhale, unwind whatever wrap you did. And exhale, circle the left hand to the earth. Lift the back heel. And now inhale, reach the right fingertips toward the sky. So now we're rotating toward the midline. We're rotating the midline toward the right inner thigh. Reversing that side angle that we were just on. Take an inhale. And on the exhale, circle the right hand to the earth, step it back to plank, take it through a flow. 2 breaths in downward facing dog. Left side, inhale, lift the left leg, bend the knee, stack the hips. Exhale, step it through next to the left thumb. Crescent lunge on the inhale. Warrior two on the exhale. Flip the left palm up, inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale back to warrior two. Side angle. Left hand finds the earth just inside the right big toe. Right fingertips toward the sky. Gaze goes up. And if you want to try finding that wrap around the backside waist, if you did so on the other side, go for it on this side. Similarly, if you want to find the double wrap, maybe play with it. Really ground those feet into the earth. Remember to breathe. On the next inhale, unwind the right fingertips back up toward the sky. Exhale, circle it to the earth, lift the back heel. Inhale, reach the left fingertips to the sky. Revolved side angle. We're rotating the belly button toward the left inner thigh. Take an inhale. And on the exhale, circle the left hand to the earth, step it back to plank, your choice. You want to add some push-ups, you want to take it through a flow, or you want to skip it. Follow your breath. At the end of that exhale, glance up at the hands and walk, step or float your feet top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to stand, sweep the arms. Exhale, pull that breath to heart center. All right, let's get into our shoulders for a moment just while we're up here standing. So step your feet about hip distance apart so you're nice and supported. Soft bend in the knees. This is about the arms here. So inhale, arms overhead. And now, before we even do anything with your arms, check in with your lower ribs. Because something that we do, depending on how our flexibility is in our shoulders is that anytime some of us, I'm one of those people, when I bring my arms overhead, I have to fight the natural urge to just borrow flexibility from my rib cage and from my upper back. And it's like, yeah, I've got my arms overhead. I can bring my arms so far overhead. But really what I just did is I just turned it into a little back bend. So check in with your lower ribs. Make sure you're not just turning this into a back bend. So as you bring the arms overhead, also tuck the lower ribs in. All right, now elbows are straight. Seal the palms toward one another. And now really squeeze the biceps, the elbows toward the midline. Really lift up from the waist here. And now bend at the elbows and bring the hands behind the neck here. Hands are sealed in prayer. Squeeze the elbows toward one another. So we're really squeezing toward the midline, really getting into the shoulders here, the upper back. Find lift. 2, 1. Inhale, release the arms back overhead. Exhale, arms down by your sides. Nice job. Give your shoulders a couple little rolls to the right, to the left, forward, back. We're going to do that one more time because why not? Anything worth doing is worth doing twice. All right, right back to the middle. Inhale, arms overhead. Elbows are straight, palms facing each other. Soften the lower ribs down toward the earth where everything's locked in. You're making a straight line from fingertips to the soles of your feet. Seal the palms together. Squeeze the elbows toward one another against the sides of the head, really active. Lifting up from the waist, and now bend the elbows, bring the hands behind the neck. Remember to breathe. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, squeeze the elbows towards one another, gazes forward, really fight for that lift in the elbows. Inhale, arms overhead again. Exhale, everything down. Nice. All right, come on back to the top of the mat. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. Take it through a flow. All right, so this is optional. Everything's optional, but just for fun, since we really woke up our shoulders, let's see if maybe we can try a couple little handstand kicks. Maybe a 1, 2, 3. And then just for fun, try the other side. Maybe a 1, 2, 3. If you're feeling pretty good about it and you want to try switching your feet in the air, that's cool too. Don't get too wrapped up in how you look when you do handstand kicks because nobody's watching you and you're also not going to hit somebody because you're all by yourself. All right, back to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg. Bend the knees, stack the hips. Exhale, step it through next to the right thumb. Crescent lunge. Inhale. Now airplane wings on the exhale. Keep that front knee over the front ankle. Inhale, crescent lunge. Airplane wings, exhale. Inhale, crescent lunge. And now we're going to do something a little bit new and different. I want you to do airplane wings, but only with the right arm. Can you sweep just the right arm back behind you as you drop the left arm forward? Revolved crescent lunge. Inhale, bring it right back to center. Exhale, warrior 2. No worries, we'll try that again. Flip the right palm up. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, back to warrior 2. Exhale, circle the hands. Pause. Your back heel's lifted, your left hand is planted. Inhale, find that revolved side angle again. All right, now just for a moment, glance down at your left hand. It's directly beneath the left shoulder. And we're going to transition from here into a side plank. So if you can do it in one sweeping movement, then that's fine. If you want to take a lot of steps to step it back, that's fine too. Side plank. Reach the right fingertips toward the sky. Press the feet, the hand into the earth to create lift through the midline. Take an inhale. Exhale, circle the hand to the earth. Take it through a flow. 2 breaths in downward facing dog. All right, we're going to do the left side flow this time. Inhale, lift the left leg, bend the knee, stack the hips. Exhale, step it through next to the left thumb. Crescent lunge on the inhale. Airplane wings, exhale. Move at your own balance, inhale. Airplane wings, exhale. Last time, inhale. And this time we're gonna revolve that crescent. So rather than airplane wings with both arms, you're gonna sweep the left arm around behind you. Try to drop your arms in line with your shoulders. If you've got your balance, try peeking over the left hand toward the back of the room. Inhale to unwind back to crescent. Exhale, warrior two. Nice. Curious if that was easier or harder on your second side. Flip the left palm up. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale back to warrior two. Exhale, circle the hands, pause. Now the right hand finds the earth. Inhale, reach the left fingertips toward the sky. Check in with your right hand, make sure it's supporting your right shoulder. And then step it back to a side plank on this side. Get yourself situated, get yourself stabilized here in side plank. Press into the earth with the right hand, the outside of the right foot. Take an inhale, exhale, take it through a flow. All right, lower the knees to the earth. You can take it back to either child's pose or Savasana here, which is a kneeling pose. Either way, it's an opportunity to take some body weight off the shoulders, to breathe for a moment. And check back in with what is true right now. Right, because so often we can get wrapped up in, oh, what are we going to do next? And is the next thing going to be harder than the last thing? Is the next thing going to be easier than the last thing? I hope it's over. But if there's anything I've ever learned from doing hard things, it's that generally speaking, we tend to quit not because what we're actually doing is hard, but because we're afraid of what might come up next. But if we could just remove that part of our brain that worries, remove that part of our brain that tries to plan and tries to make a gamble as to whether what's next will be harder or easier than this, then I think we would probably follow through with a lot more of the things that we take on. All right, let's get back into it, shall we? Take it back to downward facing dog. All right, we're gonna take it through basically that same sequence, but at the end of it, we're gonna add a nice long hip opener lunge. So it's like you get a nice built-in break between your right and left side. Here we go. Inhale, lift the right leg, bend the knees, stack the hips. Exhale, step it through next to the right thumb. Inhale, crescent lunge. Airplane wings on the exhale. Inhale, crescent lunge. Airplane wings, exhale. Third time, crescent lunge. Third time, airplane wings. Again with the crescent lunge, and this time you get to find that revolved crescent, twisting to the right. Sweep just the right arm behind you. Inhale, crescent lunge, very nice. Exhale, warrior two. Flip the right palm up, inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, circle the hands, plant the like the left hand. And inhale, reach the right fingertips toward the sky. Okay, so this is our hip opener. Lower the back knee to the earth. Uncurl the toes. And now circle the right hand inside the right foot. And so you can heel toe the right foot off toward the right edge of the mat. All right, now you've got options. You can either stay posted here on your arms with your arms straight, or after you've been here for a little while, you might try dropping down to your forearms, Deepening the stretch in the right inner thigh. Or if you've got a block or a step or a pillow or something like that that you could plant beneath your forearms, that is nice too. Or if you're really feeling an intense hip opener, then you might try wrapping your forearm around your right ankle and drawing your shoulder inside your right knee. And breathe. I am going to hang out with my arms straight, a little more supported. This is that long hip opener that I promised you. It's a nice opportunity to come back to the breath and slow things down just a little bit. All right, now just pick up that right foot and take it back to tabletop. And since we're here in tabletop, let's take it through a few nice and easy rounds of cat-cow. Maybe it'll feel nice to add that rock back and forward. All right, curl the toes under, take an inhale. Exhale, take it back to downward facing dog. Left side, inhale with the left leg, bend the knee, stack the hips. Exhale, step it through. Find your crescent lunge. Not warrior two, airplane wings on the exhale. Inhale, crescent lunge. Airplane wings. Again, inhale, crescent lunge. Airplane wings on the exhale. Inhale, crescent lunge. And on the next exhale, here comes that twist, revolved crescent. Inhale, back to crescent. Exhale, warrior two. Put the left palm up, inhale. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, circle the hands, plant the right hand. Inhale, reach the left fingertips up toward the sky. And on the exhale, circle it back down to the earth, heel toe. That left foot off to the left. Lower the back knee to the earth if you haven't already. And here's your hip opener on the left side. So just like the other side, if you hung out here for a few breaths, and then after that, you realize that you could go just a little bit deeper, just kind of explore different sensations, different areas in your hip flexor, where you might be able to access some space, some stretch, some extra challenge that is appropriate for you today. That is the goal. And slowly press the hands back into the earth. Step that left foot back. Take it back to tabletop. And take it through a couple rounds of cat-cow here. All right, so from tabletop, pick up the right hand. Inhale, reach the right fingertips up toward the sky. And on the exhale, circle that right arm under and through toward the left wall. So thread the needle. And then once you've got your arm and the side of your face all situated on the earth, walk the left fingertips forward. So you're just using the floor to help yourself into a little twist here for the upper back. If you've done this many times and you want to try deepening that twist and you want to try finding the wrap around the backside waist, that's fine too. All right, now let's slowly press back up out of it. And before just going right into it on the other side, take it through some organic movements here to just neutralize your spine. So maybe some cat-cow, maybe some little rotations with the shoulders. Okay, now let's take it through to the other side. So pick up the left arm, inhale, reach the left fingertips up. Exhale, thread the needle, reach it under your arm, settle your ear, the side of your face, your arm down onto the earth, and then walk the fingertips forward to support yourself into this little twist. And just check in for a moment, because sometimes when we're in this twist, we can wind up in like kind of cringy, like gritting our certain muscles. So like relax your jaw, relax your toes. Relax your neck. Find a comfortable position for your neck. Don't just wind up in some like weird contorted position just because your shoulder and your upper back is twisting. All right, slowly unwind. All right, bring the legs around in front of you. I can face you. Bring the legs around in front of you, and we're gonna do double pigeon, which is just kind of like a seated, cross-legged sort of pose. So here's what you're gonna do. Don't get too wrapped up in whether you're doing right or left, because you're gonna do each side, okay? So what I want you to do is just stack one shin on top of the other. And think about the ultimate goal is to have your ankle on top of your knee and your knee on top of your ankle. You want to have your shins stacked over each other parallel. You should feel it in the outer hip of the leg that is on top. Just hang out here for a few breaths. If you do not feel it at all in this pose, then you might try hinging forward over your legs. Or if you feel it but you want to get a little bit more sensation, then you can hinge forward over your legs and bow your forehead toward the earth and maybe walk your hands forward.
before we just go right into it on the other side, I like to straighten out my legs and give them a little shake internally, externally, rotating them. It's a nice reset. And now switch sides. So whichever leg was not on the bottom last time, have that be on the bottom this time. It is possible that one of your sides might be more or less flexible than the other. Not uncommon. Slowly release. And now for a fun little like neutralizing counter stretch. Bend both knees, step your feet pretty wide, about hip distance apart. And what I want you to do is try to do this without touching the floor. And so try pinwheeling both of your knees down onto the earth, like making like a 90-degree angle, and then switch. And then just try rotating the knees to the right, to the left. And so what you're doing is you're switching between an internal and an external rotation in each of your hips. You should have a little bit more space in your hips after all the work that you have put in. And after you've done that a couple times, go ahead and lay back onto your back. Hug the knees to the chest, gently roll side to side. And then pull the knees nice and wide, grab hold of the outsides of the feet. Happy baby. We took this pose at the beginning of our practice, and sometimes it's fun to return to where we started with new and different sensations, new and different experiences, new and different abilities. All right, and after you've had some fun in child's pose or a happy baby, go ahead and release the arms, the legs down onto the earth. Find whatever resting pose works for you today. Find comfort, find ease, but most of all, find stillness. Find rest. Savasana.
Slowly begin to reawaken the body, wiggle the fingers, the toes, roll out the wrists, the ankles. Reach the arms overhead toward the back, point the toes toward the front. Take a deep breath and a full body stretch from fingers to toes and everything in between. And on the exhale, roll over to the right side. And then take your time making your way back up to a comfortable seated position. I'll show what that looks like for you. Lightly rest your hands on your knees. Close your eyes when you get there. In stillness and in silence, do the work of noticing, paying attention as with beginner's eyes and beginner's ears and a beginner's mind, what is going on within you and around you. There is always something to learn. There is always something to pay attention to. There is always something to be delighted by. All it takes is an ability to see. On the next inhale, sweep the arms overhead. The exhale, pull that breath to heart center. Thank you for allowing me to guide you through your practice. Have a beautiful day. Namaste. Thanks, everyone. Thank you for joining me. I hope you feel more at ease. I hope you feel better than when you started, right? That's the goal. That's the ultimate goal of a moving practice like this, is to feel better in your muscles, to feel better in your mind, feel better in your ability to breathe, your ability to be present in your body. So I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.